Auston Matthews inches his way towards 70 goals, and is Ryan Reaves ready for game one of the playoffs? Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writer Terry Koshan. And Terry, it took a while for Ryan Reaves to get his game going, but over the last few months, Reaves has looked like a different guy, and especially in the last two games against tough opponents in Florida and Tampa Bay, he did not look out of place. If you're coming up with a game one roster right now, is Reaves making your lineup?
He is, Rob. He is, and you're right. Since coming back off that forced break, if you will, when he had the knee injury in December, and then was held out of the lineup after he had recovered, and he's telling us last night after the game it took him a while. He used that time to get his confidence back and really use it as a mini training camp, so that once he got back in the lineup, he wouldn't be a liability like he was October through December. And we've seen that now. I mean, there are good things happening with the line with David Kampf and Connor Dewar. There's still some things to be worked out. From Keefe's point of view, given that Mitch Marner and Calle Yarncroke are still out, where will they fit? We know where they're going to fit in when they come back, but how does that affect the rest of the lines? It really shouldn't do much to the fourth line. Ryan Reaves is, part of a group now that oftentimes when they're on the ice, they're keeping the opposition hemmed in. And yeah, they get scored on last night against Tampa's top line. It boils down to one mistake really by David Kampf, but I just think the line has been good. Reaves himself making an impact physically, and the other thing too, Rob, you look at a guy like Reaves, say, oh well, penalties and that, and the fighting. He hasn't taken a minor since February 19th, and he's only taken 7 all year in 44 games. So he's not prone to taking bad penalties and putting the Leafs in a bad spot, if you will. And that's huge in the playoffs. I mean, to have the ability to stay away from those things, and most people do. When you have a rough and tumble guy like Ryan Reaves, you think maybe prone to that. He's not. So just the way he's played overall, what he brings, some of the guys were talking after the game last night about, just the way he is on the bench, bringing the noise that Brad Treliving hoped he would last summer when he signed him. I think all these things point to him being in game one. And if he, whether it's Boston or Florida or by some other, weird, scenario, the Leafs fall into a wild card spot, whoever it might be, I think he's in.
Meanwhile, with every goal scored, Auston Matthews sets a new career high. He is now just 7 away from 70 on the season. However, with just 7 games remaining and the Leafs firmly entrenched in a playoff spot, Terry, home ice advantage also doesn't seem to be a huge priority, at least publicly, for Sheldon Keefe. If you are the coach, does it make sense to sit Matthews at any point over these final 7 games, even if he's close to that 70-goal mark?
Well, it's going to be really interesting to come down. If it comes down to the final 2 games of the season, Rob, it's a back-to-back in Florida and Tampa. And, then the thinking is the Leafs would start that first round very possibly on the Saturday. So you're looking at playing Tuesday, Wednesday, a day off for practice, and playing Saturday in game one of the playoffs. So that's a lot of hockey to end the season and to start the playoffs as quickly as they would be. Not like it would have been April 22nd until the NHL changed the dates around. There was obviously more of a gap there. So we'll have to see. The one thing with Matthews right now, and this week's a good example, Leafs are off Sunday. He doesn't take the morning skate Monday. Practice is canceled Tuesday. He doesn't take the skate Wednesday. Plays Wednesday night, plays Monday night. So he's really been only on the ice twice. Today, Thursday's a day off. Really, he's only been on the ice hard going at it in the 2 games that they played since last Saturday. So he is getting rest within the schedule while still being in the lineup. But, it's like what Sheldon Keefe said yesterday, and I agree with it. What matters most is being ready for the playoffs. And even if you have a playoff spot locked down, which, weirdly enough, the Leafs haven't clinched yet. They need a point to do that. Until that happens, he should be, in the lineup, and then you go from there. And 70 goals would be amazing. Of course, we know that he needs 7 in 7 games. If he goes out and scores a hat trick in Montreal on Saturday, Rob, and gets to 66, maybe you do rest him for a game right away because you think, okay, he's still having a lot of time to do it. But I think it'll really come down to those last 2 games. The other thing we should mention too is there's precedence for this, right? Mitch Marner sits last year with 2 games to go, sitting on 99 points, comes back from the last game, doesn't record a point in New York against the Rangers, and finishes 99. Matthews sat out a game as well last year down the stretch. John Tavares did. I think Moreland and Riley did as well. So it does happen, and Keefe has shown, especially with the Marner thing, that it doesn't matter to him where the points are. 70 goals is much different, of course. Only 14. It's only happened 14 times, but it's a delicate balance. But the thought right now, the focus has to be what's best for the team. And if Sheldon Keefe thinks that resting Auston Matthews is best for the team going forward, then that's what you do.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below or send us an email at torontomapleleafs@postmedia.com. For Terry Koshan, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.